Are you longing for more or more inspired creativity? Are you longing for more or more inspired spirituality? That's what I want to talk about today, is how we can really use our creativity and our spirituality, weaving them together as powerful practices for our life. I mean, ever since The Artist's Way came out by Julia Cameron, this has been a big thing, but the truth is these two things are inseparable, our creativity and spirituality. And I want to help support you in just sort of taking off, like a kick in the backside. Let's go a little deeper in both of those areas. Welcome back to the channel. It's Sam from thesamanthawild.com. And I'm so glad that you're here. And thumbs up, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for helping me get to 1,000. I know I'm a little ways off, but I'm still excited because that's the next big milestone. This is a place for your creativity. This is a place for you to get inspired. And I love to support people in their creativity and their spirituality, because to me, they really, truly are inseparable. As some of you may know, I was ordained as a minister in my early 20s. I'm also a mother of 6, been a yoga teacher since I was in my early 20s. And creativity and spirituality have been the bedrock of everything that I've done in my entire adult life. Here are some things you probably already know. If you aren't being creative, then you cannot be healthy. This is actually true. If we are not enacting our creativity, which is very natural, it's like something that flows out of us, it's like we're not peeing. Every person is creative. Every person needs to engage and use and share and express their creativity, just like every single person is spiritual. There aren't some spiritual people and some people aren't spiritual. But the difference is our spirituality is always there, but it's like we need to turn on the light switch, right? The lights are always there, but if you don't turn them on, you're not going to get any light. So when we think about creativity and spirituality, I think it needs to be very, very practical. Like right now in the world, there's a lot of sadness. I got this book for some of my little ones. You can see there that it's by His Holiness the Dalai Lama and the Archbishop Desmond Tutu. So pretty powerful book. It is about joy, and it's really about finding joy everywhere. And I think it's this kind of accessible spirituality is so important to us right now, because all of us are here on planet Earth right now in this very difficult moment, because each of us, that's you, that's me, has a gift. And we need to be the most vibrant, healthy, alive people we can be, so that we can bring that gift of love and compassion and joy to the world, helping wherever help is needed. And it's needed a lot of places. But I'm actually showing you this book, not just to sort of get upon my soapbox and say that. I'm showing it to you because I read this book to my kids and got very inspired by that tree. Now I've been making a lot of rainbows for a special place that I'm going to be vending in a couple weeks. I don't usually vend, so I'm feeling a little nervous. But anyway, that tree inspired me to make a rainbow tree. I was on vacation when I made this, so I didn't have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. I didn't have all my usual stuff as I have here in the studio, so I used many multicolor. And I made this tree, and I have to tell you, I really love it. I was deeply inspired by the artist who made this, and it brings me a lot of joy and happiness. And I've made other videos about this, but it's really important for you and me to tap into our intuition. Well, intuition is another way of saying that our ear becomes attuned to the divine voice. Spirituality and creativity are one in the sense that creativity connects us to Creator. And when we're in a space of translating our creativity into the world, we are becoming a transparency for Creator. We are bringing our vision, our beauty, our specific way of sharing it to people. So it's not the same all around, but it's all coming from the one source. In the same way that we could all make sun catchers, which I have recently. Here are 2 of them. I made a video where I talked about these. These are made from foil balloons and plastic on fiber or ribbon warps. But let's say everyone in the entire world made a sun catcher and put it up to catch the sun. Well, the sun would be the same sun, wouldn't it? Coming through. But every single sun catcher would be different, because every single person who made it would make it differently. So the source is all the same, but we express it through our creativity all in unique ways. And each of those ways is really important. I think too often creativity becomes this thing that's sort of an extra, right? We need to drink water, you need to have food, but I don't know if you have time or the ability to be creative. Here are the 2 most important things in terms of using our creativity as spiritual practice, our spirituality as creative practice. Number 1, do your creative work, whatever it is. None of this happens unless we actually do it. So the first step often is to sit at your desk to write. Go to your loom to weave. Sit at your wheel to pot. Get out your knitting needles. Whatever you're doing, you actually have to do it. It does not work. It simply does not work if you don't do it. But number two, to have our spirituality really activated in our creative practice, we do want to bring a bit of mindfulness. Not because the spirituality isn't there, because it's inherently there, but because we don't notice it, again, if we don't turn on the light switch. So when you sit down to do your creative work, a lot of times, folks, will watch TV or listen to a podcast, right? Or listen to music or talk to somebody. I invite you, I encourage you, I challenge you to do your creative work in a new or different way. Be totally silent. Start your creative work with a deeper meditation. Start it with a prayer. Start it by singing a song. Consecrate your creative space in a different way. Bring your conscious awareness to the fact that being in your creativity brings you closer to your creator. In my life, I do lots of mentorship, which is like counseling, spiritual counseling mentorship for people around creativity. I also do divorce mentorship. I also do mentorship for mothers. Anyhow, in terms of creative mentorship, what I find a lot of times is that people feel really limited by the ways they've either been raised to think about creativity or the ways they've been raised to think about spirituality. So the third thing, right, I said a 1 and a 2, here's the 3. The third thing is to really explode outside of those limitations. Now, for most of us, we've been raised in some kind of religious or spiritual childhood, right, background that really informs how we're thinking, but it doesn't necessarily mean we're thinking true things. Or sometimes people have no spirituality and religion, and that too has an effect. It's time for you to tune in and listen to what you need right now, because that divine voice is speaking to you, to your ear that can hear it all the time. It's not just for Sunday morning. Honestly, it's obviously not just for when you're sitting and doing your creativity. It's always happening. And it translates. And that's why I kind of love this example of like reading this, getting this book for my kids, being drawn to it, reading it, and then being just absolutely infused with the sense of what I needed to weave. In fact, I'm going to weave a bunch more rainbow trees. Am I showing you the back side? Sorry, there's the front side, back to the front side. But that's because the voice is always speaking. And so when we use our creativity as spirituality, or spirituality as creativity, when we understand that they are intricately linked, there is no writer's block. There is no creative constipation. You're sitting at a waterfall that's constantly flowing. And if things aren't flowing for you, it doesn't mean that you're blocked, that the source is blocked. It might mean that you need a rest or a timeout or some time to think or to dive deeper into something, or you're in a time of pause. But source is always there giving us creative, spiritual sustenance. And I mean it quite seriously when I say we cannot be healthy unless we are creative. And we cannot be creative unless we're allowing ourselves to be doing our creative work. Your creative work might be figuring out a problem in your family or making a dinner out of nothing at all. Creativity expresses in myriad and really infinite forms. So I don't mean to limit it to just like a craft or painting. But we have to show up for the creativity, and then we have to consecrate it, is we bring to your consciousness by meditating for a minute, breathing for 3 breaths, singing a song, and then 3, get rid of the distractions. Try to do it meditatively, try to do it listening, try to do it in a quiet space. And the third one is be bigger than you were before with how you thought about your spirituality and creativity. Be bigger. Get outside of that box. Well, thanks so much for joining me. I hope some of those ideas are useful for you. Before you go, give a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Really important. Love to have a comment. Tell me if this is helpful for you. I can do more stuff about creativity and spirituality. And in the meantime, head on over to thesamanthawild.com. Visit the weaving shop. This piece isn't in there yet, but this piece is going to be for sale. It's a mother-daughter set, and loving this summer shawl. In the meantime, I hope that you have a really wonderful creative day.